moment, a purple light appeared on Qing Shao Yi, with purple four-leaf clover swirling around her body. Qing Shao Yi heard the elder say, "Young Master Chang'e, no need to say so much. This is just a small matter. It is their fortune that you value them." The two children immediately knelt at Gu Chang'e's feet, saying in unison, "Thank you, young Master Chang'e, we will never forget your great kindness." He was surprised. "What is this? I don't need you to kneel to me, get up." He reached out to help the two children up, and Qing Feng hurriedly said, "Yes, yes, young Master Chang'e." The little girl sighed inwardly, "Young Master Chang'e, you are so gentle." He smiled slightly, "Little one, no need for such courtesy." A sudden flash of lightning made everyone around gasp in shock. Elder Wang stuttered, "Gee, greetings, Elder Lei." Elder Lei looked down from above and said, "Elder Wang, I'm here to find two people." At this point, he noticed Gu Chang'e, "You are from the Gu family? It seems the rumors underestimated your strength." He smiled, "Greetings, Elder. You're joking. How should I address you, Senior?" "But I'm not here for you today," Elder Lei said as he walked past him. Both Gu Chang'e and Elder Wang froze. Elder Lei went straight to the little girl. "It's true, it's the immortal demon body. The predictions of the Sikong family's techniques are truly extraordinary." Elder Wang was stunned, thinking, What? It's actually the rare immortal demon body, I almost drove them away." Gu Chang'e was also surprised, "So it's the immortal demon body, I thought they were just two poor children. It seems I was short-sighted." Elder Lei said to Elder Wang, "I'll take these two little ones with me. The academy intends to cultivate them. You all continue with your examination." Elder Wang replied, All right. Someone shouted, "Young Master Chang'e." He paid no attention, turned around, and said to the two children, "Let's go, being personally cultivated by the academy, you two are really lucky. This is much more promising than being my sword attendants." Qing Feng said loudly, "Young Master Chang'e, my brother and I will never forget your kindness." Qing Xiaoyi looked at him in confusion. Elder Lei's figure flickered, leaving only a flash of lightning, and he shouted loudly, "You must cultivate diligently, no slacking off." He smiled and added, "Only then can you repay me in the future." "The one coming is young Master Chang'e," someone shouted loudly. "I, Gu, specifically came to pay my respects to the Academy's elders, hoping for an audience," someone responded. "All right, young Master Chang'e, please wait a moment." Inside the Academy, 5 elders were cultivating together. The space below resembled the Milky Way, while above were thousands of scrolls of books. The true immortal book elder raised his teacup while puzzled, "What does this Gu kid want with us?" Someone was surprised. "Of course it's nothing good, that guy is a disaster, wherever he goes, he brings calamity." Elder Lei rebutted, "But didn't the rumors say he's graceful and polite? I just saw him kindly helping those two children." Another elder spoke up, "Old Lei. You're old and still believing in rumors." This person dug out his sisters. Dao boned when he was young, such a person can't be upright. He immediately nodded, "You're right." Just then, he walked in, disciple Gu Chang'e pays respects to all the elders. One elder showed a surprised expression. "Let's not talk about his character, his cultivation is quite good. If you have something to say it quickly, then leave." The elder was still holding a book and didn't even look at him. He smiled and said, "Long time no see, your health looks much better than before. It seems the true Immortal Academy suits you better than the Dao Tian Immortal Palace." At this moment, the Grand Elder finally put down the book and frowned at him, "Disastrous." He angrily said, "As long as you don't appear in front of me, my health has never been bad." An elder thought to himself, "This senior and this kid." He paused and said, "What does the Grand Elder mean?" Chang'e doesn't understand. As the heir of Dao Tian Immortal Palace, Chang'e is not unworthy of the Immortal Palace. He seemed a bit troubled. "As fellow disciples, we should help each other, and we should assist Dao Tian." Immortal Palace in unifying the immortal ancient world and achieving long-lasting peace and stability. The elder impatiently interrupted him, Stop, stop, stop. Don't say any more. If you keep talking, I'll have you thrown out. Someone laughed. The relationship between the senior and the disciple is really harmonious. Another nodded. Indeed, it's rare to see a senior so excited. But the grand elder roared, Harmonious my ass, you brat. He stopped delaying and said, Speak, what is it that you want from us? He extended his hand and summoned a flower petal. I came to ask about a person. The petal glowed as he asked, Do the elders recognize this item? Someone widened their eyes, this. The petal kept glowing, emitting magic power. An elder said, Whoever left this item must have an unfathomable cultivation, and their pressure is terrifying, mixed with the laws of order. He approached the petal. This token is related to the demon realm. If the person you're looking for is in the true immortal academy, it can only be that person. He asked. An elder stroked his beard and asked, Kid, have you met the immortals' masters? He smiled and nodded. The elder looked at him in confusion. Didn't they beat you up? He replied discontentedly. What are you saying, elder? They really like me. You think I'll believe that? The elder replied dismissively. He linked arms with the grand elder, and they chatted as they walked. Grand elder, why don't you take me to meet the person related to this item first? The elder said, That person has a strange personality, except for those from the demon realm. Ordinary people are driven away. At that point, I can't help you. He smiled, Grand elder, don't worry. Chang'e is no ordinary person. I'm the heir of Dao Tian Immortal Palace. The elder angrily cursed, Shut up. They flew to another location, where a red-haired woman stood in front of them, and the elder said, We've arrived. The red-haired woman was the demon realm queen, Jiao Ji. You took out a peach blossom petal and said, I came here to ask, is this token related to you? Jiaoshi looked at the petal hesitantly and said, Master. The stone beside her seemed to have a soul of its own. He frowned as he looked at the stone. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. He recalled his childhood memories. He practiced with a long sword. Master. How is my swordsmanship now? The person praised, Very good. There's progress. He recognized that it was a stone that had become sentient. Suddenly, a purple aura exploded, shocking both him and the elder. This is demonic energy. He thought. The dark aura is emanating from the sentient stone beside Jiaoshi. The petal in his hand was now surrounded by demonic energy. Jiaoshi spoke, Old friend. Old Stone appeared, sighing while holding his head, So, you've crossed over as well, but have no memory of it? Jiaoshi asked worriedly, Are you alright? He replied, I'm fine. He looked at the two and asked, May I ask, is this token yours? Suddenly, he looked at Gu Chang'e, his pupils shrinking in shock. He stared at the young man standing there, a face similar to his flashing in his mind. He stepped back in fear, exclaiming, The demon lord is not dead. Jiaoshi looked worriedly at him, Master. She glared at Gu Chang'e. He was stunned, and the grand elder beside him became enraged, demonic energy swirling around him. The demon lord is not dead. May I ask what you mean by this? Is it related to this boy? He looked at the grand elders' expression and thought helplessly, This old man must want to use this as an excuse to kill me, right? Jiaoshi helped Old Stone up. No, it's not, it's just a similar temperament. If there really were two flowers in the world, they might not share the same fate. Old Stone sighed. He introduced himself, I am called Old Stone, may I ask how to address you? He responded, I am Gu Chang'e. Old Stone was slightly surprised, Gu Chang'e, it's you. I hope you can reflect another flower, that would be more reassuring. He then asked, Did the peach demon send you to find me? Gu Chang'e replied, Exactly. The peach demon said you might be able to resolve my physical problem. The grand elder, deep in thought, remarked, Born with demonic nature. I am not very clear on this either. Perhaps the peach demon was influenced by my blood's master's aura back then, so I wasn't controlled by the demonic nature. But, that was just luck. Also, with the peach demon's current state, she probably doesn't remember anything. Old Stone looked down and said, "How many people like you have appeared in this world?" But without exception, they were ultimately plagued by ominous energy, and their endings were all tragic. This sort of thing cannot be relied on others, only yourself. No one can help you. The Grand Elder pondered, "What's going on with this boy? I don't need to solve any demonic heart problem. What I want is your favor." He then asked, "Senior, have we met before? Why do I feel a sense of familiarity about you?" Jiaoshi and Old Stone looked at him in surprise. Familiarity? He smiled. "When I was cultivating in the past, I liked to meditate on the blue stone, but was dissatisfied with most of them. Until I found a blue stone, which looked very similar to the original form of Senior." The Grand Elder looked at him with disdain, thinking, "He's talking nonsense again. I meant no offense, perhaps because of this, I feel some familiarity." He fell silent for a moment and then said, "Perhaps, this is what is called fate. If you don't mind, you can come to find me if you have any business at the True Immortal Academy in the future. Although I can't leave the academy in my current state, my words still hold some weight here." He smiled. "I respectfully accept." The Grand Elder still looked at him with the same expression. This kid's abilities are becoming greater and greater. His expression turned grim, the information revealed by Old Stone, combined with the memories that have resurfaced during this time, and the confirmed inheritor of demonic power being Qin Gu. "Does that mean I am the Demon Lord?" Old Stone introduced. "By the way, this is my disciple, Jiaoshi. You can get to know each other." Gu Chang'e respectfully said, "I greet Lady Jiaoshi." He thought to himself, so this is the renowned ruler of the demon realm? A god-level expert who already has quasi-supreme strength. No wonder she's a 6,000-year-old monster. She smiled and said, "Young Master Chang'e, there's no need to be polite. Although I am in a remote part of the demon world, I have already heard many rumors about you. Now, young Master Chang'e, you probably already dominate 7/10 of the young generation's fortune." He smiled and said, "The Queen overpraises me. How could someone like me deserve such praise? I've also heard many rumors about you, and now that I meet you in person, I realize those rumors are nothing but baseless gossip." The beautiful lady curiously asked, "This piques my interest. What rumors has young Master Chang'e heard? And what are your thoughts on them?" Hearing this, he was stunned. This is utterly rebellious, patricide, and wife murder. It can never lead to good. I've heard that the world says the queen has a malicious heart, like a snake's or a scorpion's, causing chaos in the demon world. Upon hearing this, the Grand Elder and Old Stone looked at him in surprise. "That's why I said. These words are nothing but nonsense. After all, 6,000 years ago, the demon world, with 6 equally powerful emperors, was engulfed in war and the people suffered greatly. That was the norm," he said helplessly. He had a look of anger on his face, and the 6 demon emperors stubbornly stick to old rules, unable to adapt. They don't care about the survival of the lower-level demons, and when they are at their peak, they will decline. The fortune of the demon world will inevitably wither. If it weren't for the Empress, not only would the demon world not have been unified, but even today's stability would have been impossible to achieve. Is this not the Empress's achievement? However, people are ignorant and fail to understand that change comes at a cost. They only focus on the faults and ignore the merits, which is why the Empress suffers from public criticism," he said respectfully, cupping his hands. The beautiful lady remained silent upon hearing this. Old Stone, hearing these words, thought to himself, "People are ignorant, and my master once said the same thing." Old Stone spoke, "I think young Master Chang'e's explanation is very close to what Lady Jiaoji has in mind." Jiaoji showed a hint of joy. "Is young Master Chang'e speaking up for me? After all these years, only you have been able to understand. I never thought anyone would share my thoughts." He bowed and quickly said, "In my humble opinion, The Empress's reforms for the demon world outweigh her faults and deserve to be called a great emperor for the ages. Jiaoji, upon hearing this, widened her eyes in surprise and looked at him. Young Master Chang'e, you are new here and not very familiar with the true Immortal Academy. Coincidentally, I once stayed here. I wonder, with me guiding the way today, will it satisfy you? The two walked together on a foggy road, with floating giant stones suspended in the air. Walking together, he smiled and said, "The Queen is joking. It's a great honor for me to have the Queen guide me. How could I be dissatisfied? Disturbing the Queen so much?" She asked, "Young Master Chang'e, where else would you like to go? Do you have any places in mind?" He was stunned, and the system panel appeared with the system prompt, "Fortune event triggered, the son of the Demon Emperor returns." Seeing he did not respond, she asked in confusion, "Why aren't you speaking, young Master Chang'e?" He hesitated and explained, "I suddenly remembered something interesting." He stepped forward, "Thank you, Queen, for showing me around. If you don't mind, you may call me Chang'e in the future, otherwise it feels a bit distant." She immediately replied, "Sure, young Master Chang'e." He then asked, "I wonder if the demon world is peaceful these days. I have never stepped into the demon world and am curious. How were the 5 demon emperors back then? Did their forces cause trouble for you, Queen?" She sneered. "Those 5 emperors' remnants are just a rabble, though they secretly stir, they can't cause any trouble. I must speak frankly, Queen, you should not take them lightly. After all, you hold a high position and might not notice the hidden dangers. What if the 5 emperors have hidden cards and strike when you least expect it? What will you do then?" He thought to himself, "I can't be too obvious, or it will raise suspicions. The Queen should thoroughly investigate whether the enemies have been completely eradicated. Some calamities can quietly spread when unnoticed, like a raging fire." She listened silently to his words, then asked, "The 5 emperors' hidden cards?" It was unclear what she was thinking, but her expression was very thoughtful. Elsewhere, demonic energy was spreading continuously, originating from a white-haired man. "Daoist sister, I have been waiting here at the True Immortal Academy for quite some time." The white-haired man was none other than Lord Xiang. "In my past life, I knelt in front of the Buddha, but I could not earn even a glance from you. You refused to stop and pursue the Tao, and I, too, never stopped pursuing your footsteps." His face was filled with rage, and the mark on his forehead began to glow. "If in this life, you still refuse to look back at me, it will surely be your greatest regret. I wonder if your Nirvana Dao bone has progressed further, or if my Hongmeng Dao bone will dominate the world." The mark suddenly opened, turning into a third eye. "Let me use the heavenly eye of immortality to peer into the shadow of your future." A scene appeared, a hand shackled by chains, belonging to a woman. She was hanging from the wall, covered in blood. Another person stood nearby, holding a bowl of blood, with the smell of blood gradually fading. "Senior sister, this is your future. With your personality and talent, how could your life end up like this?" The young girl's face turned pale, and blood kept flowing from her eyes and nose. Xiang looked at the person again. "This guy, he's calmly watching you. Isn't he your cousin? How can he do this to you? Was everything about taking you home and returning your Dao bone just an act?" He saw more clearly the person standing. "Gu Chang'e, you are indeed no good. Returning the Dao bone is simply a joke." Gu Chang'e's expression changed slightly as he turned to look at Xiang, letting out a sound of surprise. "Interesting." He froze for a moment. "What?" The eye on his forehead was severely injured, and his face showed extreme pain. He cares about me coming from the future." "No. Impossible." He reached out to wipe off the sweat. "Anyway, this guy is definitely not as simple as he seems on the surface. He's 100 times more terrifying than rumors say. Gu Chang'e is definitely a monster, I must be careful of him." At Qingfeng's side, Qing Xiaoyi asked, "Brother, what are immortals and demons?" He answered, "Xiaoyi, you only need to know that You're very powerful. See, all the elders are fighting to take you as their disciple. Without you, I could